Hello and welcome to Fox Gaming. Today I'm painting Boromir. This is the third video in a series of videos where I paint up the entire Fellowship of the Ring. He will be painted to a parade-ready standard, so let's begin. The miniature was primed using Mechanicus Standard Grey. You can use another priming if you want. Corvus Black was used to paint the tunic and the spaces between the finer details on the horn. I then used corn red to paint his tunic that is closest to his body. When that is done, I use rhinox hide to paint his boots, belt, hair, beard, front side and back side of his shield, vambraces and gloves. That belcher was used to paint in his sword and the details on the shield, chainmail and the clasp on his tunic. The next color is Retributor Armor. This was used to paint in the small ring in the middle of the shield, the finer details on the horn and to freehand the gold details he has on his sleeves on his tunic. Now it's time to shade the entire model except his face with Nuln Oil. It does not matter if you hit the face, as this will be painted next. The face is painted using Cadian Fleshstone. Then I shade his skin using Reikland Flesh Shade. The shade helps to create depth to the miniature. Now we will take him to the next level by highlighting him. I start by using Mechanicus Standard Grey for the black areas. For the second highlight, I use Dawnstone, selectively picking out the edges. The protruding folds on the red tunic was highlighted with corn red. And then a very thin highlight using Wastaka red. The skin was highlighted using Cadian Fleshtone. Kislev Flesh was used as the final highlights on the skin areas. Scrag Brown was used to paint small lines on his hair and beard. The other brown areas was highlighted using Gorthor Brown. For the shield, I first made a mix of Gorthor Brown and Rhinox hide, with mostly Rhinox, and then a second mix with mostly Gorthor Brown. The last highlight on the shield was pure Gorthor Brown. This is to make the transition between colors more subtle, as the shield is a large area. Baneblade Brown was used as a second highlight on these areas, sparingly hitting the outer edges. Do not highlight his hair with this color, as we want this orange ready kind of look. The silver parts was highlighted using Iron Breaker. And then a thinner edge highlight using Runefang Steel. I would just like to mention that if you have another range of metal colors, you can use those instead. Just apply the darkest first and the lightest one second. The gold areas was highlighted with a mix of Genas Gold and Iron Breaker. The horn got a final highlight of Pallid Witch flesh, painting small lines to make it look more like a horn. Now all that is left is to base the miniature. There are a lot of nice looking bases out there, so take your pick. I have this homemade base ready that I use for this project. I will make a video about it for you. If I haven't done so when you're watching this video, stay tuned for that. I just glue on the basing material using PVA glue. Paint the rim of the base black. And put on some green flock. With that, Boromir is done. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video if you liked it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Stay tuned for the rest of the Fellowship painting guides. See you around.